This was absolute men against boys right from the start, Kieran. From an Arsenal perspective, you've got to be delighted with what you saw.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, we've all been there conceding early goals, and sometimes it is tough to come back from that. But really and truly, there was nothing in it. There was nothing in it. I think Arsenal were completely dominant from start to finish, and the question marks lay over Manchester City. The squad of Arsenal just looks so deep. You even saw the substitutions come on in the second half. They looked comfortable. They looked organised, defensively solid, and the punches that they can land. We saw they didn't have all the possession, but just so effective in those moments to really hurt Manchester City.
They were brilliant, Shaka. They literally just seemed to take off.
They really were.
They left last
Listen,
season.
for all intents and purposes, this is still pre-season. You're still figuring things out. You can level that excuse for Manchester City, absolutely fine. You want to offer Arsenal the same. On paper, they can get better with Shaka, with Rice coming in, but they just look like a well-oiled machine, even from now. And you're right, the description men against boys, I think is fitting. They had that one flurry, couple, if you call it a flurry, couple Manchester City chances on the 40th minute. Outside of that, there's really nothing to talk about. Similarly, you look at who they had on the bench and how they can strengthen. He comes in and makes them better back without question. Maybe Cherokee comes in and offers some creativity up front. We've not seen an awful lot of Phil Foden, who I was hoping we would. Question marks about so many question marks for Enzo Maresca to try to answer. The difference between these two was stark, and just it being glorified pre-season friendly doesn't offer much consolation to Enzo Maresca or any of his players.
Let's welcome in at Cardiff for us, Alex and Nedum. Let's start off with Nedum. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's been nice, and do you know, it was interesting. Obviously,
Be honest.
City.
How are you?
Listen, I've been infinitely worse than this in some of these finals. I'll tell you that as a fact. But it was interesting watching the two sides play and seeing this sort of like split between Arteta's Arsenal. He very much looks and feels like that. Even someone like Gibbs coming into the side, he fits perfectly into the way that they want to play. You see some of the players, especially in midfield, looking excellent. I thought Odegaard was excellent, Lewis Kelly was excellent, and Solis as well on his essential proper debut. I thought he was really, really good. Then look at the City side of things. I look at some of those players that have been put into this game, and it wasn't clicking, especially in that midfield area. And obviously, as I see this, it reminds me in some ways of when City played Liverpool, I think 3 years ago at Leicester. And Liverpool won that game, and there were loads of overreactions around, say, Darwin Núñez versus Erling Haaland, all that stuff. You could see that for the way this game was, Arsenal were the better side. They were the better prepared side, where the team understood what they needed to do, and they basically played the game in that manner. For City, they had one or two flashes, but against Arsenal, you've got to be consistent for the 90 minutes, because Arsenal are deserved champions, and you can see what they're going to be putting forward going into this season. But again, from a City perspective, I'm disappointed, but I'm not too stressed, because I know that this isn't going to be the final product. If they play through the season with, say, Jack Grealish starting on the left, Rico Lewis and Kovacic and whoever, and that's their midfield setup, then maybe the season could be a disappointing season, because they haven't been starters for City in recent years. But I believe that with the transfer policy that they have, and with some of the players stepping up, finding fitness and being better, they might not be as good as Arsenal right now, but you know they can get better.
What do they? Well, yeah, of course. When you set the bar as low as they did in that 90 minutes, Nedum, that is simple. What do they need to do in this transfer market over the next couple of weeks then? Because that was so diabolical from your side.
Listen, is that what you mean my side? Like I'm responsible for it for Connect Dan. Can I breathe?
Hey, when they won the treble, you were dancing around Manchester for 2 weeks with them.
That was Dan. Don't do it. Do not do it, Dan Thomas. I will find you, my friend. But I think watching the game today, as you look at the two sides, you could see the influence that they say Odegaard had and Lewis Kelly had, and the midfield area for Arsenal was very, very robust. And it works really well, and so many other pieces around it, as a consequence, had really good games. And I think from a City standpoint, the relationship between Kovacic and Anderson, I think for the most part today, it was non-existent. Going up against a bunch of players like Foden was probably the best of the three, but even still, his impact wasn't massive.
Why do you think that relationship's non-existent?
just because it's essentially for these guys, it's brand new. And I think for Elliot Anderson, he's arriving into a new club with new expectations, playing with players who've played very differently to the ones he's played with before. So it was essentially, for the most part, non-existent at a point where, say, the fitness of Anderson is very different to that of Kovacic. So the midfield area was quite poor, and as a consequence, there were lots of other players at the back being exposed, being left to deal with things which, as the season progresses, they will not be dealing with. Because I think for Maresca, for the work that he's done in pre-season, I don't think he's been doing stuff that would allow a team to get sliced open as many times as they did today against Arsenal.
So you're not worried?
No.
Not worried, Dan.
The more I talk, the less worried I become.
Yeah. What's fascinating about this discussion is that we spent the whole week, Kieran, talking about it doesn't really matter, it's good for the winners, but for the losers it's just another pre-season. It's the manner of this defeat, isn't it, which just intensifies this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we spoke about the tables turning and the tilt that's happening and the shift that's happening with both teams. And so there's always mind games at the beginning of a season. And actually, I'll go as far to say as I think that Maresca, with his selection, I think he's shown his cards a little bit too early.
Because he went strong, very strong.
He went very strong. And I think sometimes at the beginning of the season, it's the one game that you kind of get that subliminal buy where you can say, okay, it's the start of the season, we've still got players coming back. And I think it may have backfired a little bit. But listen, it's in hindsight. I don't think he's gonna let it shake him for the beginning of the season. He's a smart, level-headed manager. I think the good news is they've got 2 weeks left in the transfer window. And if anything, this game has shown them that they need to go into the market and strengthen.
Arsenal picking up their winners' medal. Alex, they, as we were saying, they were so good today.
They were so good today, and I must say, in the show last night, we brought up something that Mikel Arteta said ahead of the game. He said, we are going into this match at our best level. And I asked you about that, Nedum. I said, surely they're not at their best level at this stage of the season, but some of those Arsenal players this afternoon seem to be at their best level.
Yeah, some of them. It wasn't all of them, but certain players were key. I thought Lewis Skelly was excellent today, and he's somebody that has, for the most part, been playing through pre-season. And, the best level for some, like Calafiori, again, he's been through most of pre-season, and I think there are others that are in that same situation. You can see that they've put the work in, but also put the work in to put stuff on top of what they've already built. So when he's talking about the best level, I think he's, in some ways, not just the physical, but the understanding of it. And I thought they did that really, really well. Obviously, like City, they brought in a few players like Madueke, who hasn't had the longest of pre-seasons, but again, it's plug and play. Madueke knows what the manager wants because he's had a year of being told what to do already. So I thought overall, I don't think this is the best level. Because for me personally, if this is Arsenal's best level, I don't think they win the league. I think there's more to come. I would never expect any team that's going to win a title to be at their best in the middle of August. I personally don't see that. But I think in terms of this challenge that they had today, they have brushed aside Man City, relatively speaking. But I think Arteta knows there's more to come, but in some ways trying to show that he's ready.
And a certain aura about this Arsenal team that maybe we haven't seen.
You say aura?
An aura, confidence.
There's definitely a confidence.
That maybe we didn't see before they won that Premier League title. They didn't go crazy on the final whistle. They didn't celebrate too much, so the celebration police can stay quiet.
The celebration police will always come and find you, and I think from Arsenal's perspective, for now, they're going into the season as favourites, and rightly so. You see the changes that have happened around the Premier League, and you see for them, they've got continuity, and they've got a bunch of players who've finally gotten over the line after many seasons of being very, very good. So yes, they've got that gold badge on their arm. They know that they're trying to retain their title, and they're built and ready to go to battle to try and do it. There's no guarantee, but it's always different for these players when they know that they've won it, because now it's not about the what ifs, it's about, well, can they do it again?
And it is Martin Odegaard who's about to lift the trophy. He was outstanding today, man of the match. Remarkable, really, because he played a lot of minutes at the World Cup as well. Yeah,
for sure. I think from my perspective with Odegaard, he looked like the Odegaard that played with Norway this summer, as opposed to the Odegaard that was with Arsenal last year, where some people questioning if he's the right player for them anymore. Lots of talk about Eze and replacing that sort of position, but today, as captain, I thought he was excellent, dictated the tempo of the game, and was rightly rewarded with that goal where he sits down big GG Donnarumma.
Right, they've turned up the music here. We're ready to party. It might not be the weekend, but I like this one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
What's interesting there, Shaka, is Nedum questioned because he's bitter, because he's angry about what's happened. when Alex talks about this aura that's now associated with Arsenal, and I think that's absolutely fair enough to say, because as Kieran said, not only have you got the starting 11, but you've got the players coming off the bench, and if you're an opposition side and you're looking at Arsenal now, you're thinking, yeah, this is the absolute real deal we're up against.
I think what you're seeing from Arsenal is a team that have won the Premier League, deservedly so, and understand what's asked of them this season in defending that title. That it's tougher second time around in so many ways. And they've put in the work, to Arteta's point. They're prepared for this, and they look good value for it. Now, the other thing Nedum said is, if this is Arsenal at their best, he doesn't see them winning the league. Wow, if they stay consistently at this level, I think they do. You look at the rest of the league and you wonder where the competition is going to come from. Of last season's top 6, 4 have new managers. The one who hasn't changed, Manchester United, they'll be playing European football for the first time in terms of them challenging an Arsenal. So we don't know what's going to come from them. A lot is expected of Chelsea. Chelsea finished 10th last season. So while Xabi Alonso comes in, there's a huge ask of him as well to close that gap. Not just with the top 4, but can they close that gap with Arsenal? What we saw today is as good or as dominating a performance. You could debate whether it's as good a performance, but it is as dominating a performance as we've seen in a Community Shield for quite some time.
And of course, we saw Bruno coming in, instant impact for him, playing 45 minutes. Zolis looks good as well, a couple of assists for him, Kieran.
Yeah, some really, really good business so far from them in the window, and it's not always easy when you're the reigning champs to go into the market. You're more attractive for players, but also your standards have gone up. So what you're buying has to not only keep the standard, but also improve it. And I think with these 2 signings, we're clearly seeing at the moment that it's definitely working out. Guimaraes has added aggression, progressive passer, and then you have Solis, who's just really effective, efficiency monster. Love how he is always looking to hurt the opposition, and it's 2 great additions, and I think that they're going to keep going into the market.
Shaka, are you an efficiency monster?
I've been called worse.
Here's Martin Odegaard.
Martin, congratulations. That must feel like the perfect start to this season as defending Premier League champions.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's what we wanted. We wanted to start here with the first trophy, and we did. I think apart from the win as well, we played some brilliant football. So it was, great performance, a great way to start the season, and let's continue like this.
And your first goal since last December, is that something you hope to add more of this season?
Yeah, no, for sure. I always want to help the team as much as possible, with the goals, assists, and also, of course, with the link-up play and all that. But for sure, I want to score more goals, and it's a good way to start like that today. So happy.
It was a chance to see a couple of the new Arsenal additions from this summer in the team, including Bruno Guimaraes, who started in midfield with you today. What's he been like to play with?
I think he's been unbelievable since the first moment. He's come in here and felt like such a natural part of the team. Although we had some big fights in the past, but he's been such a natural part of the team. And you see his quality on the pitch. He's so good on the ball, but he's also a fighter. He wins the ball, and it was massive. Christos as well on the left. I think he had 2 assists today, and a strong performance as well. So I think everyone was good today, so it was good to see.
It's the first of many battles you're going to have with Manchester City this season. Was this an opportunity just to lay down an early marker this season?
I mean, yeah, for everyone to see our level. I think we showed our level today. I think we showed that we're ready. I think we showed that we're serious. We want to do it again. And there's more trophies to go for, and that's the aim. So yeah, we're well prepared, and we're looking forward to the next one now.
What is that mindset for you as Premier League champions coming into this season and trying to defend that title like? How different is it?
No, we're going to attack it. We want to do it again. This was an unbelievable achievement and experience for all of us. And when you get the taste of how nice it is, you want to do it again. And there's also a few other ones we want to take, So yeah, we're ready, and I think we showed that today.
You mean the Champions League, right?
Of course. I think at this club you're going to win all of them, but of course that's a big one. And but to be fair, we want to win everything, and that's the mindset. So yeah, let's look for Friday now, and hopefully get a good start in the league.
Well, congratulations.
Alex, Odegaard adding season last year, didn't he? He wasn't necessarily a prominent part of their Premier League victory. He'll be looking to up his game, is that fair to say, this campaign?
Yeah, definitely. It's fair to say that he didn't have a great season by his standards last season at Arsenal, but he was good at the World Cup, and playing like that today, he looks like, not that he has a point to prove, because he certainly doesn't have any to prove, but he went out and did so well today, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was basically, sometimes he was coming deep, sometimes he was staying high, but one thing he was doing was making sure that he was spreading the ball around in the attacking areas and making really good runs from deep, but then also making sure he was defending well as well. I think he basically led the team in the perfect way, leading by example. I think sometimes some people critique him because he seems like on the quieter side, but for me personally, I like the players that lead by example, and he was always available, always putting in the work in both directions. And as well, even the way he's speaking there, representing the football club, talking about the challenge ahead, he's not getting over his skis like some other people will do. He understands how tough it has been to win that first title, and he knows it's going to be very tough to win the second one. So try and keep people's feet on the ground. He's trying to say that they were ready for this game, but now they know that it's the next challenge, it's the next challenge, the next challenge, and it seems at times a bit boring and cliched, but that's the way that winners win. You know, they take it one step at a time as opposed to looking too far ahead.
When there is that much competition in every position as well, all over the pitch, so much quality, how good is that for the squad, that healthy competition? How much does it motivate you?
I think it can be very, very important, and there was a point last season where their substitutes were making a big impact, especially in the Champions League, scoring winning goals late in games and so on. But I think for Arteta now, what's going to be a bit different is that now that players have won a league title, in my opinion, you know, some of these guys will want to get more game time. Like there was a point last season where Bereze doesn't play for 7-8 games. Is he going to go through another season of being in that situation? Because they all know that they can play, and they also know that they will be in demand if somebody, you know, essentially wants to come in for them. So I think managing the squad is with the expectations, the individuals, the collectives, I think Arteta will be able to do it. But it is harder because the squad is a deeper squad. You know, you've got more players to come back in as well. So yeah, it's great that they have the depth, and now it's down to Arteta and the decision making, because if he gets it right, you know, as you said, they're very strong in every position.
Yeah, so strong. Best squad in the league, would you say?
Yes, I'll say that for now. I'll say that for now. Come back to me in a few weeks.
Of course they've got the best squad in the league, Nedum. Who are you comparing to your lot? Jack Grealish, hello, come on.
Dan, shouldn't ask you, mate. Shouldn't ask you, mate. Shouldn't ask you, mate. You
I'm asking you now. Who are you comparing this squad to?
You focus on the studio. I was thinking about other squads and the people that they brought in and how competitive they can be, because this Arsenal squad is a very, very good squad. But there are times when, say, somebody that's coming off the bench isn't necessarily having the same impact as, say, somebody else at a different football club. Like, I'm not going to talk about Liverpool, their squad's struggling.
Right.
Chelsea, you've got 50 players. You've got Spurs who are bringing in other players. And it's not to say that they will win the league, of course not. But they have the ability to make positive change.
Do you think Spurs squad is comparable to Arsenal?
Very much worth their weight. My friend, I was trying to remember squads. Stop interrupting me.
I know you were, because your point was so
here,
ridiculous in the first place, you were clutching at straws.
Still 2 weeks left.
So then why ask me a question, Dan? You get back to
answer.
studio, yeah. I'm clearly rattled now.
Alex asked you the question, you gave the ridiculous answer. That was the point. Nedum,
yeah, I was trying to think about the whole squad, to be honest. And, like, Arsenal have a very, very good squad, and it's a squad of winners now. The people that they've brought in have been excellent, but as we've seen in recent days, from Arsenal's perspective, one or two players like Martinelli, they're kind of being shopped around, aren't they?
Even one area as well.
Exactly, so you're wondering if that squad, some of that squad depth is going to disappear, because for now they have a lot of players to manage.
You heard it here first, Arsenal's squad depth is going to disappear.
speaking of disappearing, Haaland had 7 touches, Nedum.
Yeah, he had a few shots as well. Don't forget that. He had a couple of shots as well. But yeah, well, I mean, what do we expect? If you want to overreact to this game, you absolutely can do, and I'm sure the people will do. I thought Arsenal did look ready. That is a fact. City did not. And I think, again, Odegaard said, like, they showed their level. Man City absolutely did not. You know, we go through this thing with Haaland where, you know, we'll say, oh, how many touches did he have? But when he scores, like, oh, nobody knows how many touches he had. Did you know that he scored? That's the way that he plays in a Man City shirt. And sometimes it's efficient, sometimes it's not. I think it's more indicative of the way that City played today as opposed to anything that he was doing himself. Add in, like, this is his first game back, playing in that City side that, you know, wasn't very good at feeding him, to say the very least. That's not on him. And again, because I'm becoming more experienced at this, I remember that Community Shield at Leicester where Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne looked like they could not play together. Fast forward to the end of the season, Haaland broke the goal-scoring record in the Premier League, so I'm not going to overreact to anything. Not going to react to anything.
Not worried. We'll say it again.
Inevitably, Nedum, there's going to be a lot of reaction to Anderson's debut. What do you make of it?
Listen, I think he's come into a side that is still figuring itself out, right? So, I don't think that there's many players in the world at the moment that could come in to a side like this at the moment with this transition and have such an impact. So we have to give him time. I know that he has a hefty price tag, but that's not his problem. I think Maresca has bigger issues on his plate at the moment. And also, I agree with Nedum in terms of his actual role. I didn't really understand what his role was today. He is a box-to-box midfielder. But yeah, I think he's got a lot of gelling to do with the rest of the squad. I think he's going to come good, but it's going to take him a while.
There are a lot of questions as to who will be Manchester City's captain this season. Ruben Dias was given the armband for today's game. Here he is after.
Ruben, commiserations on the result today. What did you make of the overall performance?
Well, obviously not good enough, frustrating. First of all, thank you to the fans that came, obviously a long distance. Thank you all of them for coming so far. And I mean, it's the beginning of the season. It's not good enough. Many things are changing. Obviously, a new manager as well. Still, the way the game starts, it just sets you off right away. They get comfortable into playing their game. But in the end as well, this is just starting. And the most important is that we're already looking forward and we'll be ready for our next game.
Yeah, how much can you all read into that performance today as you head into the season?
I mean, I joined midway. This is the third game since I've been back. The feeling has been good. Obviously today it's frustrating, and it's a final. We all obviously want to win it. But if there's a lesson to be learned on the final, let it be this one, because there's a lot more coming.
It has been a summer of change, as you say, though. Your first game at City without Pep Guardiola here, and for a lot of the players as well. What's this new era, this new start feel like for you all under Enzo Maresca, and how's it been so far?
Well, it's obviously a positive energy and the feeling of a lot of work to put into. It's part of any transition for things not to be so perfect in the beginning, and you need to push through. You need to keep on working. You need to communicate. You need to make things work between us, and obviously with Enzo as well. And I feel like we're in a very good way. But we need to keep on working, and there's obviously going to be lots of challenges along the way. And that's it. I mean, stay positive, look forward. We have our first Premier League game very soon, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Enzo Maresca's named you as his captain today as well. How much responsibility do you feel as the captain to help in this transition period for the club?
Well, the captains have not been fully named yet. But still, obviously, it's not my first year as a captain. The responsibility is the highest, because it goes in the same line as the ambition of the club, and obviously we need to set the best standard for everyone else.